there's an Invacar. Oh, wow. Hey, welcome back to Doug's Cars, and welcome to windy, cold Orlando. Cool thing about going to Orlando for me is I can stop at as many as 2 Buc-ee's on the way here, but I'm at Dezerland, which is a giant, like, not really theme park, but man, it has one of the most amazing car collections in the entire world, apparently. And like 200 some cars, and they're worth, you know, ridiculous amounts of money. So I've never been here before. Obviously there's a really cool green McLaren and, you know, a bunch of other fancy stuff here. So let's run inside. It's actually free admission, so this is cool. Let's check it out. This place is just ludicrously massive. I mean, there's all kinds of games and stuff you can do that, but I'm here for this kind of craziness. Wow, what on earth is this 6-wheeled thing, and what on earth is this thing behind it with a giant gold head? It's obviously some type of truck chassis, judging by the it's called the James Dean. Oh, it's got wings and it looks like a Porsche, except it's on a truck chassis. What on earth are we looking at here? That's some kind of Marilyn Monroe Cadillac, I guess. And then, oh, that's one of those, that's that Thunderbird thing from that British show over there. Yeah, we'll go take a look at that in a second. Oh, they've got an indoor kart track with all kinds of, I mean, this place is just, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, it's huge in here. I think it said it's the largest indoor attraction in the entire state of Florida. That's saying something. Big Bugs Bunny's got a giant carrot. No jokes about the size of his carrot here, because it's massive. There's a Scooby-Doo van. And then, yeah, here's this Thunderbird thing. I never watched the show because it's something that I guess was on in the UK in the 60s or whatever, but it's got a British number plate on it, not a US license plate of any kind, so maybe it's real. I don't know. A lot of y'all are from the UK. Is this actually the car from the original series and not that one they redid in the early 2000s with the modern Thunderbird they made? Let me know in the comments below, because I don't know. Okay, so you do need a wristband to see a lot of the stuff in here. So I'm now inside the rope, and this, according to my lovely Twitter followers and Mr. Jeremy Clarkson, Esquire, is actually the real Fab One from the TV show Thunderbirds. It says Fab One, as you can see. It's got a bubble top thing and a strange driving position in the middle, I guess, and lots of steerable wheels in the front, and of course a very much, I mean, that is a Spirit of Ecstasy on the front. Fab One, that's funny. It's just screwed down and a little rusty there, and lots of Lucas headlights. I'm sure they're all burned out because they're Lucas. I have to apologize, I don't know anything about the TV show other than it's like some futuristic thing. If it aired in the US, it was way before my time, so feel free to lecture me on what it is in the comments below. I mean, this is what I grew up with. Scooby-Doo right here, although this is from the movie, obviously. And it just looks like to be a regular Chevy van from that era, with very small spare tire on the front, although I think it was supposed to be the real one, but I think this is the one that had like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and all those characters from those movies. And then that car over there is the one that Sean Connery drove, again, according to my lovely Twitter followers, in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. There's Marilyn over there, apparently, showing all for everything and everyone to see. Here's like the actual museum. I'm still in the lobby of this place, and apparently there are 2,000 cars in here. And I'm not gonna put all of them on video, but I'm gonna get as many as I can. This is just fantastic. There's just, I mean, that's got Cadillac wire wheels from the 50s. It says the 57 Cadillac. It's got a keyboard in there. And yeah, I hope those are fiberglass, otherwise that's ridiculous. Cool, a little circus car with creepy clowns in it. I mean, I'm just walking down the main aisle here just to show y'all a little bit of what it's like in here. There's stuff. There's an Invacar. Oh, wow. There's an Invacar. I've never seen one of these in person. I've only seen Ian's videos. Ian is Hubnut, and of course Miss Hubnut. But I've never seen one in person, because why would I have ever seen one in person? It's actually an AC. I know way too much about these from watching his awesome videos when he drove it all over, including into London. Wow. Wow. So it's got an Austrian-made Steyr motor in the back. That is so cool. Let me see. I think, can I get around and see it from the other side? I mean, this is It's just a room full of bubble cars. It's a little darker in here, but wow, that's so cool. It's the right color and everything. Hey Ian, maybe if you need any parts for yours, call the museum. Moving on from the awesome Invercar, they got Messerschmitts. There's stuff here. I have been to the Lane Motor Museum in Nashville a couple of times, and it's absolutely fantastic and worth seeing. And I saw a bunch of these there, but there's so many more. I mean, like, it's a whole room full of little tiny cars, like micro cars everywhere. And I wish there was more light in here, but Bianchina, I don't know. Here's a three-wheeler that would be let's see, a fairly modern one, H509 DGV. So I don't know when that registration plate would have been issued, but that's a fairly modern one that Clarkson would have rolled over. Oh, a Bond Bug. Ooh, I remember this from Wheeler Dealers. They did a Bond Bug on that. I've never seen one of these in person before either, because how would I have? And they are all orange, and that's so cool. Well, of course, it's amazing how big the Smart looks compared to these. Man. Oh, and there's one of these. I forget what these are called. This is another British one. That guy, didn't he run out of money or something? Anyway, let me know in the comments below. These are made out of leather. Lots of crash protection. Is this a shortened Mini? What kind of, why is this Mini missing the back? Is it a three-wheeler Mini? It's a three-wheeled Mini. How on earth and why? When you've got a normal one right here. I mean, yes, it's a foot shorter, but why? You've lost the back seat, and now it's way less stable. And of course, we've got Isettas. I've seen plenty of these, and they're cool. You don't want to be in a wrecking one, that's for sure. And then these, I want to say these were Canadian, but I could be wrong. These were an electric car from the 79 Commuter, yeah. Look at the bumpers on that. You think those bumpers on like a 70s and 80s Mercedes are bad? That really is a park bench, y'all. Now, back to the Invercar real quick. This is an Invercar, it's an invalid carriage, of course, terms we wouldn't use nowadays, but I didn't notice it until I walked past. This is a German or Austrian version of it. Krankenfahrzeugfabrik. So this is a vehicle for people who were ill. It's got a folding top, looks like suicide doors, folding top, and looks like there's bicycle handles up there to control it with. So there's probably not pedals, and it's a three-wheeler, same way with one in the front like that. Interesting to note that that was also one for Germany or Austria. Strolling back down the middle again, we've got a bunch of Ladas, which are pretty common in the US. I've ridden in these in Cuba, in Havana. A bunch of them are still taxis, and it was the rattliest, scariest ride I think I've ever had in my life. Now, of course, they probably had 900 million miles on them, because you know, they've been used in Cuba since the 70s as a taxi cab, but these appear to be in decent enough shape. And of course, these also became various, these came out of various Fiats, right? So they just made them out of thicker metal and made the suspension a little tougher to handle rough Soviet roads. Anybody like mopeds or bicycles over there? There's a million of them. And Planet Euro. This looks like it might be a place I need to stop in. We've got a thing, a Carmen Ghia convertible, but I haven't even finished the main hallway yet. I mean, this really is... I got a Royce here next to Monster Garage Limo. I vaguely remember that TV show from the early 2000s. This is a big car. I mean, they were anyway, but it's tall and big, and suicide doors are in the front, which is interesting. Oh, so they go all the way down there and all the way down here. I think I'm just gonna have to spend the night here and finish tomorrow morning. All right, I'm going in the Chrysler Lounge because this looks amazing, and then a lot of these are Imperials, which are technically not Chryslers, but they were made by Mopar. Look at the paint on that. I hope it comes out on camera the way it does in person. It says it's a 1960, which sounds about right to me. It's got stainless trim above the doors, but not the whole roof like an Eldorado Biarritz would have. Here's another Imperial. I mean, look at, you've got the gun sight taillights. This is a 59, so similar, but oddly enough, if you look here, Imperial is written out in regular type, and on this 1960, it's in script. So at some point they switched. Here's a Chrysler letter car. I used to know all these because this has got the stacked sideways headlights. So I want to say, oh, it's a 62. Okay. So these were not as, these had been considered bankers' hot rods. So they were, you know, a high performance car that you could take to a real job. So, but by 1962, these were just kind of like, maybe just a slightly better trim model. But in the 50s, the letter cars were really well known for being fast and luxurious. Another Imperial, it's got an Idaho tag on it. Interestingly enough, that's got white letter tires on that Imperial. That would definitely not have left the factory that way. And they were playing music that sounds like it's from a Bugs Bunny cartoon for some reason, but another Imperial, I mean, look at this Chrysler here. Look at the grill on that with a lion. And let me get away from that music and just keep looking at this Detroit Iron. I mean, these are all very similar in age, late 50s to early 60s, and you can see they all still have the same kind of taillights with the little ring around them on the gun sight. I don't know the last time I've ever seen this many Imperials together, because why would you? Except here at this crazy museum in Orlando. Hey look, it's England land. Let's see, we've got a Mini next to obviously a very nice Bentley. I believe this was an Azure. It's got Pennsylvania inspection from 2011. Obviously a Corniche in tan. And then we got a bluish green, I guess, with the tan Everflex Silver Shadow from, what does it say, 1974. I don't know how they get too many packages out to y'all. And then another beautiful Royce back here with trafficators, but a sliding sunroof. Oh, welcome to Russia. This is going to be like a 3-hour-long video by the time I'm done. Wow. So it's a Gaz limousine. Obviously looks very much like they stole the design from the US, because they did. This is Muskovitch. I know these were sold in the UK, but certainly never in the US. Another Gaz Volga here. These I remember seeing in Eastern Europe in the early 90s still. And then what is this? Oh, I've heard of these. This is the rear engine. This is based on like one of the Fiats, the rear engine, I believe. Wow. I mean, these two on the ends probably weigh like 3 tons each because of the amount of steel that's in them. But I think on style, you gotta give it to the Brits here with the Bentleys and the Royces and the Mini Cooper that's parked out front. Oh, good. There's more English and British stuff here. Morgan. I don't know what that thing is. It's very, very, very small. This is, of course, very, very, very big. Very, very nice Royce. Oh, hey, the mail vans are finally getting bigger. So they might actually be to deliver some packages. This looks like it's actually a drivable vehicle. Is it made out of wood, though? Yeah, it's definitely made out of wood. Oh, yeah, I know those folks. Although I don't think the Gherkin was built when she was still with us, unfortunately. A nice Bentley here, an MG. Ooh, that must be a Bentley too, but I like the fact that it's got completely covered with the fender skirts. I don't normally do that, but in these cars, it just works. Again, with the trafficators. In 1948, I just find that hard to believe. The last time I was in a museum and there was a British car, the trafficators in like a 1952, and I'm fairly certain all American cars had turn signals by then. I could be wrong, but trafficators just seem like something from the way pre-war era. And of course, everybody had to start making new cars after the war anyway, so it's just recycled stuff. I'm in the Cars of the Stars section now, and there's a Tom Cruise Citroen here, which is odd enough, but this is probably a real A-Team van, I'm gonna guess, because that's how it works here. Oh, wow. And there's a Ghostbusters car there, and they're playing the Ghostbusters theme song, which of course is going to get me in trouble with the good folks at YouTube. But yeah, Mr. Bean. This is actually Mr. Bean's car. Is it? This, yes, it's even got the door clasp on it. and there he is, making eyes at me. Something bad happened to this van. It's Kit from Knight Rider. Wow. And it really is, it's got the crazy dashboard. It really is Kit from Knight Rider. Wow. And it looks like there's another one over here. It's another Knight Rider car. Oh yeah, this has got the actual like little blinky lights in the front. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, this is a convertible. So This is from a different one, but the front end obviously has the correct Terminator 3 car. I'm just overwhelmed. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to do the best I can with this, but this is the Ecto 1 from Ghostbusters. Wow. I mean, oh man, yeah, it's a real ambulance, and wow. I mean, here's Deplane Boss Deplane from Fantasy Island. There's the Starsky and Hutch Torino up here. A Herbie from oh, that's the one with Lindsay Lohan. Whatever. The older ones were better in my opinion, but I was a little kid when they came out. Gran Torino, and I'm sure this is one of the ones from the actual show, because that's how it goes. Yeah, probably one of the most famous and rare cars in the world, although people like to do them up in this method. The RoboCop Taurus. Wow, this is crazy. And then of course, what it wouldn't be complete without probably the most famous movie car of all time, the Back to the Future DeLorean. The real star, it says. Well, it definitely is, and it's shiny. There's even an Interceptor here. I don't think I've ever seen one of these. This is an XB GT Coupe, and that's how the word is pronounced. Yeah, of course, this is the one with the infamous on-off switch to turn on that giant supercharger, which is, of course, not how they work, folks. But this is one of the cars from Mad Max, so it's definitely worth 20 bucks to get in here. Absolutely. One of my all-time favorite cars that I've never seen in person is a Tucker, and this one I guess was used in the movie. It's obviously been damaged. It might be the one they rolled over. I don't know if it's real. It doesn't look like it is, but maybe. I mean, it looks like it's covered in like, yeah, I don't think this one's real. I think this is a movie prop, but we've got a Christine over here, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I don't believe Christine had the spare tire deck lid thing, but yeah, pretty cool to see one of these, especially with the creepy green light. I don't know what child of the 70s or 80s wouldn't know what these are. You've got Daisy and Uncle Jesse here in the CJ7 Dixie. You get the General Lee back there, which I'm sure is a movie car. I mean, look at the paint on it. It's terrible. It was probably done, on the back lot like that when they painted most of them. And then you have one of the early police cars, because it's the AMC, and they switched up to the Plymouth later on. So I guess it says 1979 season. another mystery machine, and I'm still going. Here at the end of the star cars, you've got a Grand National, which has been totally destroyed, unfortunately, because I would love to have one of these. Maybe it's just got the badge. It looks like it's a sticker. Probably a base model Buick Regal. They did that too. And then one of the most famous movie cars of all time, probably second to that of the DeLorean from Fast and the Furious. I've got a Lincoln Town Car, so I'm going to film the slow and the luxurious. The room we're in a few minutes back was full of Imperials. This one's full of GM products. You got a V12 Fleetwood. You've got a Cadillac limo here. There's Buicks, there's Oldsmobiles. This is a supercharged Graham. Where are you going to see another one of these with suicide doors in the front? Never is the answer. And a Hupmobile. I mean, like, it's a very unusual front end. You've got the chrome bisected grille, and then the upper grille is painted in body color, but it's a Hupmobile. Where are you going to see another Hupmobile or a Chrysler Airflow like that? And they're coming out with the Airflow again, right? No, that's the one that started it all. But a Hupmobile? What? Red, white, and green? But yeah, I toured the Corvette Museum a couple years back. That video is worth watching if you're interested in Corvettes. It's really well done, and of course they really have the music loud in here. They've really done a great job of showing what it was like when the cave-in happened there, the sinkhole that happened at the Corvette Museum. Hey, this is the style Thunderbird that they modeled that modern Thunderbirds TV show car after. What? This has got to be the biggest collection of 2000s birds that I've ever seen. I mean, you've got one for each color, I think, except red. They did sell these in red, I believe. Black, got gray, teal. I mean, what? Why? I mean, it's a Lincoln LS underneath, which is not the worst car in the world, and inside it's the same too. But that's just a lot of Thunderbirds from that era to have on display. But hey, where else are you gonna see something that's crazy? I finally found a Rover, and it's a radio truck. Like, a lot of people I know have, because it's the long wheelbase 109. It is right-hand drive, oddly enough. Yeah, someone can look up the number plate if they want, I suppose. It's definitely in camo because we're here, the military pavilion. So I'm gonna try to duck in here, but I'm sure they'll be cranking, you know, some John Philip Sousa March or something. Oh, you got Hummers down to regular Jeeps, the GPs. One of these little, this one's been tarted up a bit with some, oh, the Mutts nuts. Okay, it shouldn't be that shiny, I don't think. So this would be what a Auto Union, obviously, because it's got the Audi logo on it, all the Schwimmwagens and stuff like that, and another Land Rover, of course. Actually, there's a bunch of Landies. Oh wow, staff car, Packard Clipper staff car. That is amazing, because of course these were all fancy luxury vehicles with chrome, and you didn't want any of that here. Let's take a look at these Landies real quick. So we've got a Defender 110. Oh, look at the gear on that winch. That's cool. And then of course, that's a 1980. I thought that was an older model than that. You'll have to school me in the details because we didn't get them back then. Ooh, Jeep Commander pickup, which of course has a military designation. These are cool. A Duck. These became, you can ride these in Tennessee on the river as a tourist. Oh, and then there's just all the Power Wagons everywhere. And I mean, Power Wagons just drove the war. I mean, they were used for everything. It's interesting that the Power Wagon, and this is basically, if you look at the hood, it's the same as what you got on a Grand Wagoneer. I always thought these would be so much bigger, and I've seen these, but compared to that Jeep, it's not that big. I think I found the room full of Woodies. Here's a DeSoto Custom from 1950. It looks like the wood is probably original on it. And if it were ever to be outside, it would be needing a replacement, but you can see the wood is getting smaller and smaller. There's less and less of it. The tailgate is now metal. The roof is now metal, because they didn't used to be. This one has got to be, oh, this is a Chevy. Interesting. Stylemaster. I didn't think they came with wood. At first I thought this was a Town and Country, because this is a Town and Country, and Chrysler made these. That's where the name came from. That's now on their minivans, or it was. That's real wood, and that trunk lid is just crazy. But I mean you can see the detail in the woodwork, you know, has lasted all these years, but that is a sticker. So they've moved on from the wooden doors. But no, that looks like a sticker too now that I see it. Just the lid itself, and then back here, yeah, 3M Dynoc, but that is real wood there on the side. Well, I realized I neglected to go into Europe, so here we go. We've got fairly modern Alpha here with the updated rear end. I always like those. And then you've got a bunch of, you know, Fiat Multiplas and Topolinos, and then through this door we enter France, which apparently only has an emergency light on. So there's a bunch of, I mean, these Citroens are super rare here. And a Panhard, 2CV, there's all kinds of, I don't even know what what these are, but yeah, 2CV truck of some kind. And that one's got a trailer made out of the back of one. So again, when I did the 100th anniversary of Citroen in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, which would have been 2019. If you want to see more Citroens, I highly recommend checking that out, because it's the biggest gathering of Citroens probably ever in the US. But we neglected to look at the Saabs. And also got a 2011. A bunch of cars had 2011 inspection, so it must be when they started compiling the collection of Wartburg. That's from the East Germany. I'm not sure why that's with the Saabs, but Saab, Wartburg. So, and a Volvo, of course, as you would expect. I think I found the newest car in here. It's a 2004 Smart 4.4. I would not be surprised if this is the only one in the United States at this moment, because why would there be any other ones here? They did sell the 2-door Smart here for a while, but definitely never the 4-door. Yeah, we found the best room in the building. It's 3 Duesenbergs here. 1, 2, 3 Duesenbergs. These are just amazing cars for their time specifically. I mean, look at this one. It's a boat tail. It's short wheelbase. I bet this thing absolutely hauls. These had something like 250 or more horsepower in the 30s. And they were double overhead cam, 4-valve per cylinder engines. I mean, they were engineering marvels. They weren't necessarily always the prettiest cars, although these are great looking. And the one in the middle is different era, so I don't know enough about that one. It's obviously not got the exhaust manifolds coming out the sides. It's earlier, but these were built in like 1929, 1930, and wow, just cool. Now I know there are some British cars that are called Farinas, and because of the style, the design house, but this is a Nash Airflight, which is also a Farina. You can see it's a very Statesman custom, I should point out too. Very slab-sided, and yet also not very wide. I don't know. It's a short, tall sedan, and I like how it's got the little plexiglass green thing there on the hood to help you look at the traffic lights, and it's even got a right-hand side mirror. Very cool. These were great cars for the day. They became fully flat inside, so you could use it as a bed. They had screens you could put in the windows. I mean, look, it even has opening rear vent windows, and it just, what an unusual car. You just never see these. American classics. That's a Maybach. This place is just amazing, y'all. Hey, someone's got a little squirrely over there on the go-kart track. I'm standing here in front of the Mystery Machine, words I never thought I would say. And, I mean, Dezerland Park's pretty cool. Just come here for the micro cars is insane, but I got to see an Invacar for the first time. I got to see a Bond-Bug, a whole bunch of Ladas, all the Imperials you could possibly ever imagine. This thing, which apparently Brits, including Jeremy Clarkson, just go crazy over, and it was a blast. I highly recommend it if you're in Orlando. But now you don't need to go because you saw my video, right? And it was good. Anyway, thanks y'all so much for watching Doug's Cars. Please hit subscribe to see what crazy things I'm up to next. Probably not involving driving this. And yeah, see you all soon.